So how's the tour been so far for you personally?
It's great. Yeah, it's been great. I think our most successful European tour as of yet. Yeah.
Nice. Have there been any special moments for you on this tour?
Yeah, actually, quite a few. One was in Madrid, and like everyone was singing all the songs, which is pretty rare for an instrumental band, you know. And they were singing all the parts, and then Tosin at one point even said like, check this one, this next one is called Mind Spun. This one's impossible to sing, you know. And they were singing it, which was pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few moments. Yeah, like yesterday at the Brutal Assault Festival, like the turnout was amazing, and everyone was going crazy. You know, everyone's hands were up in the air. And yeah, we've had a lot of that on this tour, where it's just like, whoa, it's a lot of love.
And has there been any favorite song by playing the live set that was just more special for you than any other song?
That's a tough one, because each one kind of has its own like set of cool riffs and ideas in it. Yeah, for me, one that I look forward to every night is the medley. It's a medley of The Price of Everything and Value of Nothing, which is off the first album, and Behaving Badly, which is off the first album as well. And I do like a solo section in there, and it's a long solo section, so you know, most of the other stuff, there's like little places where I can improvise and do something new, but that's a big section where I can, you know, just do freely whatever I want, like a whole minute. And so yeah, I kind of end up like judging myself pretty heavily off of that, you know. And when it goes really well, it's really rewarding, because, you know, it's a stream of consciousness, you know.
And is there a plan for the section, or do you improvise every night?
Not really. I mean, the plan is to develop, you know, the energy to where it starts off and it's like, you know, the riff goes like, and I kind of try to start with a simple idea and then expound upon it, and by the end I want to be, you know, ripping and like have the crowd be like, yeah. So that's the only thing, I guess, that really stays the same. You know, I end up playing some of the same stuff. You know, of course it's the same riff, but I think this tour more than others, I've been coming up with a lot of new ideas and ways to keep it fresh.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Awesome.
Is there any song that you hate playing live, or that you're annoyed of?
No song that I'm annoyed of, but Tempting Time for me, there's this one section where it's, you know, this hi-hat part, straight 16ths, really weird accents, it's 5 and 6's accent, and just like, that's one song I'm like, we're not gonna play that in sound check, you know, like just woken up like 3 hours ago, like has to be during the show, and it's it. For some reason, like, I mean, there's faster stuff that I play, there's more power-driven stuff, but for some reason that particular part is like taxing on the hands. You know?
I think the new album is finished, recording?
It is finished.
Yeah, can you tell us something about it?
Well,
Are you allowed to tell us something about it?
Yeah, I'm actually court warrants by the CIA and FBI cannot permit you guys are now have to be disposed of. I think it's it's really unique because we've progressed in our writing, in the fact that we're all three of us are writing in a room together, and you know, it's not just Tosin's riffs or like a Javier song, you know. Like Joy of Motion, the fellow was, you know, Javier pretty much wrote that, and I think the majority of the acoustic song on there is Walt Paramexer, and then the rest was mostly Tosin. You know, I wrote a couple riffs in there, but everything we're we've written together, and yeah, it's the most collaborative effort yet, and I think we really like melded our sound together. I think there's some really cool ideas. There's really exciting rhythmic ideas that I put on there. Some very cool harmony stuff that the guys have done, and Tosin's solos are different this time. You know, every album he evolves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes it exciting. It makes it new, and I don't think there's any real repeat of any song. So you know, it's all new material. It's all fresh. It's the freshest on the street.
and it's like. From my own experience, it's like someone came up with a riff and you jam on it, or it's more structured, or how is the process in the rehearsal room if you guys together?
So actually, I was like, guys, this time let's actually play like in a rehearsal room together and you know, try to work out some riffs and stuff. And we did like 2 times, maybe 3, but then we ended up just going to the computer and writing things in that way, and I was programming all the drums, which is its own challenge because I have to know everything that I'm capable of playing on the drums and what patterns I know I can put over others. But yeah, I think most of the songs started with Tosin's riffs, which is still the same, except we like. I would add a part, Javier would add a part. And this time I was putting quite a few like phrases that I've kind of curated, like certain phrases that I like to use in polyrhythms, displacements and stuff. And a lot of that's on the new album, so I'm stoked for people to hear that. I think it's a great songs, great structures and everything, but also a lot of content. That of technical content.
And what was probably important for us, does it jet?
Yeah, of course.
I'm so sick of this.
It's the most horrible question
The
ever.
most horrible question, because we can't change our name yet. So it's done for years now. We would like to change it. But yeah, we have to ask this question every time.
But how would you like describe the style of the music? Is there anything you would call it?
I mean, it's a lot of things to me. To me, it's not one thing. It's progressive, but not in the like Dream Theater progressive. Like, you know, it's instrumental. It's heavy. It's groovy. It does have like some elements of like R&B or some jazz elements, you know. But it's I think once you're putting all these things together, you have all these styles together. And it's not that we're doing it on now we're going to do a jazz part. It's a part of us, you know. It's a part of our playing and our expression now. But when you fuse these styles together, I think it presents an opportunity to come up with some unique music and unique vibes, and you know, something that's new. That, you know, I think that's what we look for in bands, is bands that have, you know, changed or created a genre. And so I guess maybe would be called fusion because we're fusing stuff.
That's the term I had in mind. With your naming.
But the problem is fusion is, you know, jazz and rock. You know, from the 70s, mixing jazz and rock. But I guess now it's metal to jazz.
Modern fusion. Contemporary fusion.
Well, something else is, how often do you practice, and how long do you practice when you're not on tour?
So I think this changes for everyone. You know, it's like I've tried to stay consistent my whole life, but in the last like 3 or 4 years, I've definitely gone down in how much I practice. Now it's like just 2 to 4 hours a day. You know, when I'm on the road, it's not as much, just because I don't have a kit available. So it's mostly just pad work. So I have to find interesting ways to practice. just on pad. But I mean, for years I did 6 to 8 hours for like probably like 10 years. I did that, which is, you know, that's a lot. But I also, you know, important factors are who's your teacher or teachers, who are you playing music with? Do you have like a musical mentor that's helping you not only with the educational stuff, but to apply that in a musical manner, you know? And I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to make music, you know? But the technical education certainly helps to us to express and to know what we're doing, to know when we're repeating something that's already been played before or not.
One thing I'm very curious about is you had a clinic at Drumeo, And how is it for you as a drummer to have all those opportunities to get your stuff out? Like you have YouTube and you have things like Drumeo, and there is this whole thing with DVD clinic, and you have to buy this John Petrucci video or stuff like that. It's kind of dying. And now it's this whole YouTube and video stuff. So how it is for you as a drummer to express yourself through these channels?
So this is, I think, it's helping to level the playing field for players and give great players an opportunity to shine. But it's always a double-edged sword, right? So the people that are really great musicians, really, you know, making great art, are able to expose themselves to a far greater audience without record labels or anything. But at the same time, there's this huge influx of everyone trying to teach on YouTube and trying to put up drum videos on YouTube, and so the quality is, you know, like you have to sift through a lot of crap, you know. So I think it's good and it's bad. For me, I don't use YouTube probably nearly as much as I should, but I have in the past, and I think it's a great way to give people some insight and some information, and let them know what what they can expect when coming to an Animals concert or a Garstka clinic. But at the same time, I have my website and I'm doing lessons on there, which are $5, $10. They're short lessons. But this is something that I don't want to put on YouTube, because I think it's worth the money, you know.
You have to
graduating from Berkeley too, like I'm not just a Joe Schmo. And I kind of want some separation from that.
And you have to live. You have to pay rent and stuff.
See, that's the hard thing. Like you get a lot of promotion, but the ways to make money are harder too. Like just because those people watch your video doesn't mean they're gonna fork over $5. They may love it, they may love you, but they just don't want to give you their $5 to pay for the lesson. It's just like, it's not that they don't think you deserve it, it's just that they're too lazy to.
Exactly.
I don't want to put in my credit card information. I don't want to, you know.
Infinite mentality.
It's like, is there any drummer you would call inspiring? Anyone who influenced you personally the most?
I think I'm very inspiring, and I think I've inspired myself quite a great deal. No, I mean, of course.
All time.
Of course, yes. Like I don't think any of us just like to do something and don't have people to look up to. We always have people to look up to. And I've had that since I was a kid. I mean, my dad is a professional guitar player, and he, like, watching his performances always gave me this feeling, and so did music. Like I was listening to David Lee Roth on my Walkman when I was 5 years old, just going crazy. And like my dad's, blues rock reggae band, and Bob Marley, and then it evolved into, I was listening to classic rock and to rap, that kids from school showed me Deftones and some punk bands and yeah, I mean, then I got into fusion, and then those guys were hugely inspiring for me. Dave Weckl, Vinny Colaiuta, Steve Gadd, Dennis Chambers, Gary Novak. Yeah, then I found gospel guys, you know, Thomas Pridgeon, Eric Moore, Tony Royster. And yeah, it's constant, you know. Now the guys that are inspiring me are Gavin Harrison, Benny Crabb, Virgil Donati, Moritz Mueller.